Hi guys, Puddin here with another game for you in my tier 10 German battleship, the Kurfürst. Considering I can't say the first part right, I'm not going to bother pissing people off, so I will just refer to this as Kurfürst or GK. My captain skill is going to be priority target, preventative maintenance, expert marksman, basics of survivability, advanced fire training, manual secondaries, and concealment. My modules are going to be protect my main battery, longer shooting secondaries, dam chem 1 and 2, a faster reloading primaries, and concealment. Now, some of you may have known from my previous Kurfürst video, I've been switching back and forth between the 420s and the 406s. These are the 406s. And this is going to be one heck of an exciting game, at least for me, for a number of reasons. Now, my initial game plan is I'm only going half speed for two reasons. One, I believe it is our Benson, but our our DD that did spawn like mid isn't moving, which means he's not coming to C. Two, I'm seeing what my team is doing as far as where they're going. Where are we going to be heavy? Where are we going to be light? I want to see the same as far as the enemy, because you will catch some of the enemy moving, but you will find, just finding out where the enemy is going to make up what I want to do. As you can see, I'm by C, so it's how do I want to support C. Now, initially, I don't want to push into C because not sure where the enemy destroyer is at. We know for a fact one is at A, just due to mirror spawning, I believe. But it's where did the second guy go? I don't want to go push into C, be caught sitting in there trying to get a cap while I'm being radared, spotted by things, and just being HE spammed to death. This thing is the size of a brontosaurus. It has its own zip code, and just sitting on a cap getting HE spammed is not exactly fun. But but on the same point, pushing down the 1-2 line if there's no enemy is a colossal waste of time also. I'd be better off just doing a turn here and just shooting across at C. But as you can see, my escape route will be towards the 9-10 line. It's just what am I going to do when I get to the 9-10 line? Will I continue my turn, or should I make the push down there? As you see, our Hindenburg pushes onto cap, and if I would have done this, I just would have been the focus of attention. As we can see, radar, and then there is a Des Moines. So at this point, what I want to do is stop shooting at the Buffalo, make sure I don't beach. I noticed I really wasn't going to get a second shot off on him, so there's no point in trying to slow down and get him. What I want to do now is go push and kill the Des Moines. Once the Des Moines dies, the destroyer kind of runs out of excuses on why he's not going to support a cap by either getting it or, by not pushing into it and trying to get it. He could easily go, there's no way I'm going in to see, guys. There's Des Moines. I know he just radared, but still there are two Baltimores in the area, two of which we can't see. I wouldn't blame him for necessarily not wanting to push in there, especially with the position that Des Moines is in, because even if he says I can push in there, but the Des Moines has shots on me, so if a Buffalo radars me, I'm still screwed. They're valid points, so just killing the Des Moines, he's starting to lose any sort of argument as far as wanting to push into there. While pushing the Des Moines, we noticed Baltimore. I have my secondaries go off on the Baltimore as I get a nice, juicy, devastating strike on a broadside Des Moines just sitting there. I had my Nurembergs originally selected for the Des Moines, but once the Baltimore popped up, I put them on the Baltimore. Now, you may be asking, why did you waste a hydro to spot at Des Moines? It necessarily wasn't for the Des Moines, it was for the Zao. I treat Zaos now as big Citadel destroyers, because it gets 12-kilometer torpedoes. I see the Republic set up into a kite position. I'm not going to go push their corner because there was a Zao over there, and we only saw one set of torps, and God knows what side he's on now, and if he's waiting for somebody to push that side. Now, what I'm going to do is actually make my turn and just retreat. Now, I failed to see the Buffalo was actually pulling forward because I was aiming at his number 2 gun, thinking he was just going to reverse. Our Henry dies, which kind of our Henry dies to Republic, which means, I knew I was going to take one good salvo from this Republic, which is why I wanted to remain angled and make my turn to where only one salvo he would get at me. And if he did it again, I wouldn't be broadside. And crap, the Lion has a brain and actually has his AP loaded. But luckily, he shot too early and shot a little low. But just simply by him shooting AP at me means, well, I cannot sit broadside at him and laugh while he just shoots AG and then cry while he destroys and burns everything. Means I have to angle up against him and the Republic. But what I'm going to do is try to maintain more of an angle against the Republic and try to make sure I can get all of my guns to bear on the Lion. Now, if you can see on the mini-map, we clearly won A. The enemy has come over here, which means I just need to survive as long as possible. Actually, what I want to do is, remember if I can slow this down. Not while there are shells coming in at me. Or any other loud noises. I want to slow this down for several reasons. Because I want to have you guys look at the mini map. I know some of you hate it and I know some of you like it, but I think this is very important right here. We're weak on Seaside. Seaside is lost to us. Look at all the enemy ships. I think there's only 2 that are unaccounted for at this particular moment. There's myself and, let's just say Sfax, a soon-to-be dead Iowa, because the Iowa, what he should have done was when he got to the corner, stopped and reversed. That would have been a perfect opportunity and a perfect time for him to actually go bow in. Because him being in that position, let's see if I can get my mouse. Him being at this position right here would have stopped all these guys from being able to push up, because if they push out through there, he has their nice juicy broadside. Number 2, the Zao really is not going to be able to torp him because he can always retreat, turn a little bit on an angle, which means the Zao really has to come out far to torp him. The Zao can, but at that point, most of the team would be pushing up. The other thing, the Lion or the Iowa would have this island to block all of these ships. Look at all of those ships that would not be able to get shots on the Iowa if he would have stayed at that corner and just reversed. Really, they'd have to deal with only 3 ships. But now, because of where he's at, he's got all of these guys looking at him. That's way too much focus fire. Our team that is 1A has not been able to relocate as much to help us with the ships from the enemy team that have come over here. We need to buy our friendlies as much time to come up and get positions, because the enemy still don't have C cap. They are going to lose B cap. Nobody on the enemy team is in position to really get B except for this Minotaur. And you know what? He's not going to do it. There's too many of us pushing up on him. The Montana's a little bit too far south, but he could throw some supporting fire. This Montana, he can throw supporting fire, but really the best chance for them to get a cap is C cap, which means they're going to lose B. We're going to get it because all somebody has to do is sit behind that island. You can't shoot me or see me. Which means myself and this Iowa and destroyer need to last as long as possible because this guy is way too far north and is effectively out of the battle. Alright, now we're going to let this play out and see what goes on. Now, my second salvo just did just as much damage on the Baltimore as the first, but I got surprised by this. Bismarck, and here's the Iowa. He's caught in a very bad spot. While I may not be the biggest fan of it, there are certain situations and certain spots where stopping and reversing is the correct call. If the Iowa would have just stopped right here prior to him pushing out and him seeing me make my turn, if he would have just stopped and started reversing, this guy could have stayed alive a little bit longer. This Bismarck would have died a lot sooner because now he's actively fighting 3 ships. My Nurembergs, my primaries, and the Iowa. And just in case any of you forgot, my secondaries I do affectionately call my Nurembergs. Now, Sneaky is probably going to yell at me and say, oh, you could have got more damage on the Bismarck. Somebody called for shots on the Baltimore. My guns are reloading. And you know what? I'm playing really close to this island because I just want to take as little damage as possible. So I'm under the assumption that my guns wouldn't have made it over to hit the Bismarck because the Bismarck's primaries weren't able to shoot over. Somebody called for shots on the Buffalo, so I might as well turn my guns, have my guns looking and ready to potentially blast the guy. I do have him targeted for my secondaries to shoot at him. Now, if I had a spotter plane, I probably would have popped it here just to see exactly what the guy was doing. But you know what? Like I've said before, I've shot over enough islands to where I might not get you with the first one, but I will get you with the second one. The Buffalo was retreating anyways, while my shots just came in and bracketed him. Now, it's at this point I should have actually hit my heel. Sorry for the squeaky chair. But I should have hit my heel just as soon as it came up, just to get it going. But what is about to happen right now is 2 things. It's luck and skill. It's luck because Bismarck's not looking at me. One person is looking at me, but look, I zoom in. Bismarck's primaries are not looking at me, which means I can now make my turn to go in to try to snag C. The enemy has failed to camp it. We saw the shots coming from the south, which means somebody in the south was the one actively targeting me. I see that number go up to 2. I look forward. All I got to do is zoom in and see if the Bismarck is the one targeting me. He is not. That is lucky on my part. That is not skill-based. That is 100% luck. That guy didn't look at me and deal with the closest potential threat to him. I was also the best target, I believe, for him to shoot because he's only got 15-inch guns. He's not going to punish American cruisers with their because of their bow armor. Now, I see the Republic and I see a Montana, and I'm thinking, well, let me try to punish one of these Montanas because they are broadside and they do have a citadel. I will be able to hit, unlike the Republic, which requires an act of Congress followed by a miracle. And, well, I just don't feel like writing out all that paperwork and then having to go pray. But I will select him for my Nurembergs. I believe he does the same for his Charles Martels. So pretty much we are going to be fighting different ships, but letting our secondaries battle each other, and may the best secondary battle win with the help of somebody's primary. At this point, I'm begging for my plane to come back because I'm plane spotted, and I have no idea where the hell the plane is. Now, I slow down for several reasons because I'm trying to use the one island. I'm trying to use some of these islands as cover. I didn't realize the Republic could push far as forward as he did. I'm going to take shots in on the Buffalo because it's still a potential one hit, one kill. As I do some sorts of damage, Confederate high caliber, I would think it was 9,000 and then 4,000 popped up. And my rear turrets and my Nurembergs going to town on the Montana as I get a nice citadel on the Montana. Now, as soon as that Republic dies, I'm thinking, you know what, the biggest threat to me is the Republic. Is I get a nice double Citadel on a Montana, and that's up to 3 Citadels on a broadside naked Montana. It's at this point of the replay I look actively at my damage. Now, usually when I'm playing my games, the way I judge myself prior to the game ending is, did I do my job, is by damage and potential damage. 1.8 million potential sitting right now, and 270 and climbing. Damage, I'm thinking I clearly have done my job. And then whether it pops up, and then I laugh even harder because I have got nothing but AP out of my primaries. And just let my secondaries do the damage as I get a 4th Citadel on the broadside naked Montana. Now, I'm thinking there's no way the Zhao is going to drop Taurus because his friendly Montana is pushing, so there's no reason to hit my Hydra. I'm like, fuck, torpedoes. Like, they're not red, they're not in front of me, I don't care. But at this point, guys, all I'm thinking is, oh my god, I'm so close to 300k, I can finally tell Sneaky to shut up. You know, because he always yells about how he's cracked 300k and none of us have. I'm like, yeah, I cracked 300k. Now, I'm slowing this down for a reason because, you know, like I said, right now, this is all about damage for me. I don't care if I live or if I die. This is all about getting as much damage on this Montana as possible because I want to actually beat Sneaky's damage record. 100% pure greed. There's no other way around it. It's just all about greed right now. This is all about me, me, me. This wasn't about the team at this point. This was all about me. Sadly, that is my damage right there, guys. I'm just, because at this, I'm going to slow this down while this goes on. I pop my Hydro for a couple of reasons. I'm sorry if this is pissing you off, but I pop my Hydro because at this point I know I have Dreadnought wrapped up. Right now it's all about me surviving. These last 2 minutes have been purely selfish moves, but we are winning. And there's nothing wrong with when you are winning, doing it like this to take a little selfish moves for yourself. But now with this wrapping up, guys, we are going to check out the post-battle results. Now, I hope you guys really did enjoy this replay. And like I was saying in the last couple minutes there about luck and skill, is the luck part you need the enemy not to really be focusing you down. You need the enemy making mistakes. And the skill comes from knowing your ship, putting your ship in the correct position, knowing what ship to shoot. That is all part of you. The luck part comes to the enemy. It's really just the enemy making mistakes, not shooting you, and putting themselves in bad positions. Now, while I may bust Sneaky's balls a little bit throughout the course of my videos, he has learned a lot from me, and there is a lot I have learned from him. While we still may argue over simple things, we are still teaching and learning from each other. We just have fun also poking fun at each other. And with that being said, this is more damage than Sneaky has ever done. Ha! I'm better than you in a Kurfürst. Now, we do appreciate all the support you guys do give us. We do love the replays you send in. The email for that is in the description down below. Please remember to compliment good teamwork, good team play. We are quick to report, slow to compliment. Please hit that like and subscribe button and have yourselves one heck of a great day.